Welcome to Padeswood Hall. The house was built around 1840 to 1841 and does not exist on the 1841 census. It's believed the house was purchased by William Fiddler in the 1860s. William Fiddler was a colliery owner and he opened a coal mine on the land behind the hall. He extended the house and built more outbuildings. A lot of these have now gone. Strangely, there is no record of William Fiddler living at the hall, so I can only presume he leased the property out. The colliery he owned opened in 1865 under the name William Fiddler & Co. In 1880 it becomes Padeswood United Coal and Canal Company, and from 1885 to 1890 it is named Padeswood United Coal and Canal Company Limited, and in 1895 the colliery closes. The first census the hall appears on is from 1851, and a William Hancock is there with his family and servants. William is aged 51 and he is a merchant selling fired bricks and tiles. His wife is named Mary Ann and she is 52. Thomas J. Hancock is their son and he is 21. There is also John Nuns, who is their son-in-law. John is aged 26 and he is a cotton broker. John is married to a daughter named Caroline and she is 26. They have two children named Annie Caroline, who is 1, and John J, who is a few months old. There is also a Robert Roberts, who is aged 31 and he is a butler. Ellen Williams, aged 50 and she is a cook. Mary Bacon, aged 30, who is a housemaid, and 19-year-old Louisa Newley, who is a nurse. The Hancock family owned and ran the Lane End Brickworks in Buckley. The works had been established in 1792 by John Rigby and William Hancock, taking advantage of the canalised River Dee and transporting bricks via tramway for distribution. The brickworks continued to operate until closure in 2004. 10 years later, in 1861, and the Hancocks are still at Padeswood Hall. William Hancock is now 62 and he is a fire brick manufacturer. His wife Mary Ann is 63. They don't have any of their children living with them, but they do have 5 grandchildren living there. Annie Caroline Nuns is now aged 11, Lawrence is 6, Frederick aged 3, Lester aged 5 and Ernest aged 2. There are also 5 members of staff at the hall. Mary Wood, aged 24, who is a nurse. Hannah Lloyd, aged 34, and she is a waitress. Anne Orton, aged 32, who is a housemaid. Hannah Evans, aged 39, she is a cook. And 17-year-old Sarah Hughes, who is a kitchen maid. Strangely, I cannot find Padeswood Hall on the 1871 census, and I could not find any trace of John or Caroline Nuns, whose children are with the Hancocks, on the other census. The only record I can find is a newspaper article from the Cheshire Observer dated the 24th of January 1874. On the 14th of January at 15 Waterloo Road, Dublin, Caroline, the dearly beloved wife of John Nuns Esquire and daughter of the late William Hancock Esquire of Padeswood near Mould, died aged 48 years. So William Hancock and his daughter Caroline have died, but why was she in Ireland and why were her children living with their grandparents in 1861? Without finding any more information, I will never know. On the 1881 census, there is a Lieutenant Colonel Walter A. Rigby and his large family and staff living at the hall. Walter A. Rigby is aged 30 and he is listed as a farmer of 200 acres employing 7 labourers. His wife is named Mary and she is 34. They have 6 children. The eldest is named Reginald A. and he is aged 6, also Walter A. aged 5, John A. aged 3, Hannah aged 2, Thomas A. aged 1 and Mary L. just a few months old. Also living at the hall are 9 servants. Elizabeth Byford, aged 35 and she is a governess. Charlotte C. Wade, who is 47 and a cook. Sarah Hughes, aged 31, and she is a waitress. Sarah Williams, aged 21, and she is a kitchen maid. 30-year-old Anne Ryan, who is a housemaid. 17-year-old Anne Hughes, who is an under housemaid. Anne Robinson, who is 39, and Isabella Brayton, aged 28, and they are both nurses. There's also Ruth Cook, aged 19, who is an under nurse. 10 years later, in 1891, and there is a Thomas Henry Hancock living at the Hall. He must be a grandson of William, who was there previously. Thomas is 28 and a brick manufacturer. Thomas has a wife named Ursula, who is aged 20. They have an Anne F. Wright, who is 26 and she is a servant, and Sarah C. Morris, who is 22 and she is also a servant. Moving on to 1901, and Thomas Henry Hancock is now aged 38 and still a brick manufacturer. His wife Ursula is 30. They have 3 members of staff at the Hall. Mary Ellen Peters, who is 27 and she is a domestic waitress. Sarah E. Roberts, who is 24 and a housemaid, and Eliza Griffiths, who is 22 and a cook. In 1911, we still have Thomas Henry Hancock as head. He's aged 48 and a brick manufacturer. His wife Ursula is now down as Maud and is now 40 years old. They have a Lizzie Griffiths working for them. She is aged 20 and a housemaid. Also Alice John, who is 31 and a domestic cook. In 1911, there was a strange death at Padeswood Hall, as this article from the 9th of June 1911 tells us. Another tragedy near Mould. Woman's body found in a pond. Following so closely upon the recent discovery of a body in a Hendry wood, more than usual interest was aroused in Mould on Tuesday morning by the reported finding of a dead woman in a pond at Padeswood Hall Farm. Whilst passing along the Chester Road, a tramp, who was on his way to Liverpool, observed what appeared to be a corpse lying in the shallow water in the farm pond. The police were at once summoned, and the body was removed to the farm for identification. An examination of the clothing revealed no clue to the woman's identity. She was dressed in a black skirt, black 3/4 length jacket and black hat, and wore a wedding ring. To all appearances she was about 50 years of age, and her upper teeth were missing. Her hair is black but turning grey, and there is a wart on her first finger on the right hand. Other details of clothing are a black corset, black stockings and button boots. Everything points to the deceased having been fairly well off, and in the pockets was the sum of £3 in gold, besides loose silver and copper money. She appears to be a stranger to the neighbourhood. The following article is dated the 17th of June 1911. Chester woman drowned. Padeswood mystery solved. The body of the woman found drowned in a roadside pond near the Padeswood Hall Farm on the Mould and Chester Road on the morning of Whit Tuesday and subsequently interned at St John's Churchyard proves to be that of Mrs Annie Gillage of 14 Horton Place, Chester. On Wednesday, 2 ladies, one a niece of the deceased, journeyed to Mould and at the police station identified deceased from the photographs officially published and the clothing worn by her at the time of the tragic discovery. It is stated that deceased was last seen at her home on the Saturday preceding Whit Tuesday, when she informed a neighbour that she thought she was going off her head. The police had previously received inquiries as to missing relatives from Liverpool and Oldham, but the identity of deceased as Mrs Gillage has been established beyond all doubt. By 1919 there is possibly a new family at the Hall, and it seems they are having a large clear out, as seen in this article from the 17th of October 1919. Highly important sale of valuable modern and antique appointments, glass, china, pictures, carpets, grand piano, books, contents of stables, harness rooms and general outdoor effects, motor lorry, carriages, etc. at Padeswood Hall near Mould, Tuesday, October the 28th, 1919. And on the 1921 census we do have a new family, the Hortons. The head is named William Arnold Horton and he is aged 40, Under occupation, for him, it reads, "Not occupied for living," and I'm not sure what that means. His wife is named Gertrude. She's 36 and she does home duties. They have 3 children, Elizabeth, who is 4, Pamela, who is 3, and 1-year-old Mary. There are 4 members of staff: Sarah Elizabeth Hughes, who is 36 and she is a cook, Mary Kendrick, aged 20, who is a housemaid, Joyce Piers, aged 21, who is an under-nurse, and Esther Hunt, aged 27, who is a domestic nurse. The Padeswood Hall estate was purchased for use as a horticultural institute by the University College of North Wales in the 1920s, and from this article in the Flintshire County Herald dated 14th December 1928 we can see that the hall has been sold and plans are in place to turn it into the horticultural centre. Flintshire Education Committee, Padeswood Hall Demonstration Centre. Applications are invited from suitable persons for the position of working housekeeper at the above-named centre. Remuneration of £50 per annum, together with board and lodging. Applications, which should be made on a form to be obtained from the undersigned, must be sent in by not later than the 18th December 1938. J. Bevan Evans, Director of Education, County Education Offices, Mould. Moving on to 1930, and a newspaper article from the 11th of July describes the opening of the centre. Opening of Padeswood Hall. We are officially informed that the formal opening in connection with the Padeswood Hall Demonstration Centre will take place on Saturday next and will be performed by the Right Honourable the Earl de la Warr, the Parliamentary Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Between 400 and 500 invitations are being issued for the occasion in the name of the Chairman and members of the Education Committee, and Alderman Trevor Iton is kindly providing a tea for the guests. The Padeswood Hall estate, consisting of some 35 acres, was purchased by the Flintshire County Council in 1928. The place has been developed and fully equipped for the purpose of special instruction and demonstration in horticulture, poultry keeping and beekeeping. About 15 acres of the estate are being used for instructional and demonstration work. On the 1939 register, the hall is listed as Padeswood Hall Farm, and there are people living there, so I presume the hall was still part of the demonstration centre. There is a Joseph Davis, aged 20, and he is a dairy farmer. Rose A. Davis, aged 61, and she does unpaid domestic duties. The register states Rose is married but not a widow. I presume Joseph is her son. There is also Robert J. Roberts, aged 22, who is a general labourer, and John P. Bryan, aged 27, who is a farm labourer. By 1941, it seems the centre was nearing the end of its time at Padeswood Hall, as this article from the Liverpool Daily Post, dated 14th of October, shows. Horticultural Centre, New Flintshire site. The only officially recognised horticultural centre in North Wales, that of the Flintshire Education Committee at Padeswood Hall, is to be moved to another site immediately after the war is over. The committee have had in mind the transfer for some time owing to the heavy nature of the soil, and they have now adopted the report of a committee appointed to go into the question. Professor Robinson, School of Agriculture, Bangor University College, had favourably reported upon 2 of the sites, and it was recommended that the centre be located at the Selin, Northop, provided 40 acres of land were available. The owner of the Selin was prepared to sell the 40 acres of land. The County Education Committee has decided to secure an option on the new site and complete the purchase after the war. The centre finally closed in 1944, and an article from the 11th of January 1946 shows the new owners were clearing out the site. Padeswood Hall Farm near Mould. Highly important sale of the whole of the live and dead stock, including 43 grand shorthorn cattle, 2 powerful cart horses, 3 sows, poultry, mangolds, machinery implements, gears and dairy vessels, and a portion of the household furniture, by order of Mr. Joseph Davis on Friday, February the 1st, 1946. We can see that Joseph Davis, the farmer who was on the 1939 register, is still at the farm and overseeing this sale. But from this article in the Western Mail, dated 12th of February 1946, we can see who the hall has been bought by. Mould's New Works. Padeswood Hall, an estate outside Mould, owned and used by the Flintshire County Council for many years as a horticultural and demonstration centre, has been bought by the Tunnel Portland Cement Company, who are going to erect cement works there. It is understood that the works will employ 200 people in full production. The cement works began operating on the adjacent land in 1949, becoming Castle Cement in 1986 and in 2007 Hanson Cement, following acquisition of Hanson by Heidelberg Cement. The cement works is still running to this day on the land behind the hall. At some point the hall was converted to offices and used as some form of safety training centre relating to the cement works. As to how long ago that ceased running from here, I don't know, but in the hall you can still see office furniture, breathing apparatus, and the basement is full of paperwork in files, now severely water damaged. Plans were put in place in 2024 to demolish the hall and all outbuildings to build a carbon capture and storage facility. But as March 2025, the hall is still standing. So here's the big old front door, look. Wow. And then we've got a big hallway with a nice grand staircase. Let's have a look through these rooms first. Big ceiling rose there. Probably had a chandelier hanging from it. You can tell this was like a big, grand manor house at some point. Big windows, floor to ceiling windows. There are rooms just going off everywhere. There's a load of paperwork. Castle Cement, so that's the company that owned this building. Let's carry on through. Got all these doors down here. Oh my goodness. So like a little office room. Door here. There's a bathroom. Bathroom and toilets. Back into the hallway. And the various other doors going off. So, oh my god. This must have been the manager's office. There's a big safe there, look, a big chop safe. Smash window. Look at that safe. Date it opens. Got a smash window here. very windy. So there's all buildings outside. This was probably the wages department, maybe. It's a big, just a store cupboard there. So through another door off the hallway. And then we've got an office here. Steen Thompson. Let's go through. Oh, squeeze through. Oh, this is a big office. Wow, look at that. Look at the ceiling. The building seems in quite good condition, really. It's a big desk, isn't it? Very nice. It's a big room. Big, beautiful room. Some paperwork here, dated 2004. I did see some paperwork in that other corridor that said 2009. So, back through into the hallway. Look at that beautiful staircase. Got some rooms back here. Doors going off everywhere. Look at that. That's rotted there. That's the worst I've seen. Right, so this is going into the sales office. Oh my goodness. Dear. Oh my goodness. There's a big hole up there. See outside. We'll have a look round in a bit. Let's go through here. Oh my goodness. This is obviously where they've kept all their paperwork or products. This part of the building looks like it's in the worst condition. There's all old cupboards there, look. Right, let's back through here, out to the sales office. Now, there's a cellar here. Oh, let's go down here first, shall we? Let's be brave. I know it does smell down here apparently, so we won't stay too long down here. Oh God, this is creepy. I think I'm just gonna go to the bottom of the stairs and look, because it's just full of paperwork and yeah, I ain't going down there. It's just rotten paperwork. Right, it's time to head upstairs. What a beautiful grand staircase. You can tell it used to be like a manor house at some point. I mean, the size of the windows are just massive. I'm not going to go over there because there is a massive hole. But you can see there's a room over there. If I can, I'll stick my camera around the corner to see what it is around there. We've got another floor up here, so we'll go and have a look what we can see up here. Got the paint flaking off. There. Got a big room here, which I'd imagine would originally been a bedroom. Got a nice view out the window. As you can see, they've been clearing a lot of the trees around from it, so I don't know if they've got any plans for this place. Interesting to find out. See out this way as well. So a big landing. There's a fire exit that way, so I'd imagine, yeah, there's another staircase. That probably was a servant's staircase. So we're looking here. Another office for someone. Oh my goodness. This must have been the IT department. There you go, you can see some outbuildings out there. Yeah, there's the motherboard. Right. We'll just go round the rooms. More offices. This is a very yellow room. Just another little office. It's very cold in this building. I dread to think what it was like to work in. Another, gosh, it's a big room. Ooh, this might have been a meeting room, perhaps. Got a big board there, so it could have been a meeting room. The high ceilings with the picture rail around the original features. It's got old radiators too. But big windows, lovely big windows. Lovely views. Really nice. There's a year planner there from 2006. Let's go back out this room. Door frames and the arch there. Lovely. Be a lovely house if someone could restore it. As I said, most of it seems to be in fairly decent condition. This is a lovely big landing, isn't it? Massive. There's a random window up there. There's still lots of like the original architectural features still left. As you can see, there is rot setting in. But it's in better condition than some. Another our office here. The broken glass. Is that Renoir? I think I've seen that in the Louvre. Again, massive windows in these offices, lovely. Would have been nice in the summer. As you can see, there's damp up there, unfortunately. Nothing in the desks anymore. But I do love the location. So nice. Right, back out round these rooms to the side. Guys, there are rooms everywhere. I think that's just a cupboard. Got a door here. Another office, by the looks of it. God, another big room. Another big room with big windows. Yeah. Back into this one, which looked like their kitchen. Yes, their kitchen. Just some storage cupboards down the bottom. And they left a bucket. Yep. Lovely. And then just into this last room here. Oh, I went in there. That's where I went first, isn't it? Yeah. Right, we won't go down those stairs. We shall go down these back stairs. But what a lovely building inside. Doesn't take too much imagination to, don't know what that was, see it as back as a house, does it? Very nice. Right, let's go down these back stairs. See what's down here. Well then backstairs just came to a fire exit, and even though it's been smashed, I can't open it. So, back out the way I came in. So back down the main staircase. So there's only that bit there that I didn't fully explore, but I'm not stepping over that. Isn't it lovely? Beautiful place. Just got to remember which way I came in. So that's it. There we go. So these are all the old garages and outbuildings I could see from inside the hall. Just rubbish has just been dumped here now. There's an old record player there. Some old LPs. Classical music by the looks of it. There's the old emergency exit stairs.